Так, мы здесь, Felbrigg Холл. Всем недалеко. Ну что, пошли. Следующий эстейт. Let's go! Да, очень знакомое место. Еще один эстейт. Ну что, кофеюшка, пьет. Сейчас зайдем внутрь. Успеем. Is that a rock?
Мне здесь нравится больше, чем там.
Чем там? Наверное, потому что пространство больше такое какое-то.
Открытое.
Давай сядем, как вельможа.
Садись, вельможа, я тебя сфоткаю.
Receive people. You'd come through that big door and you'd gone into the Great Hall, and then you come in here afterwards, and this is where you would sit and eat. And this is all changed because you've got the hangers and these pictures. So we move on, and he hangs all his pictures. And we know that he wanted them on here, so
Quite a few of them.
there are quite a
Like
few.
a bird.
I don't ask how many paintings there are, but they have a theme. You can see this.
Yeah.
I like to think he went to some of these places because that's definitely in Rome.
Yeah, that's right.
Ну, yeah. Colosseum, yeah.
And some of them are beautifully done. If you can look, if you have a light on your camera, you can see. You can't quite see, but it's moving water. He seems to like moving water. Waterfalls. He buys an enormous painting of a famous battle, which we were interested in because it kept the port open, which was trade really between China. So he comes back with this painting, and because he could, he just blocks in a window. There's a window just like that.
You just blocked the window.
He blocks in the window.
That's why it's a little bit dark in here.
Yeah.
It's darker, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's nice.
I should think you must have just scraped in, or maybe not.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we
It's
did.
a lot of pictures.
So you've
Yeah.
got to go and see the rest of it.
Yeah, I know. Like a London Bridge. But how come the last owner, he didn't have any.
It's a family to leave it on.
Yeah. How come he
passing on.
didn't have any?
Well, he did. I'm sorry to ask you, sir, but you can't leave
Yeah, to the National Trust.
1969. He was a second son. His first son, his brother was called Richard, and he would have inherited. And Richard, I think, had an affair. It's written somewhere. He would have got married, but he was actually in the Royal Air Force, and during World War II, he was stationed on Crete. Everybody knows where Crete is.
No, yeah, it's
not?
Crete Greece.
Was important for the German Air Force to gain Crete, and they bombed Crete, and Richard was killed.
So
It was a terrible shock. They didn't ever recover Richard's body, but they did find out that he had died, in this air attack.
Yeah.
And so that was the end of the line, because this particular squire, he didn't marry. He had inherited the house sideways, all through the line, and he lived here, a very, very distinguished antiquarian. In other words, he knows about antiques, a historian, and he also ran this estate, this enormous estate, looking after the cottages and the farms. And that's where the money comes from, of course, in the past. And in 1969, he gave all of this to the National Trust. And he said, I will give you all this, but you must not take anything away, and you must not add anything to it.
Okay.
So that's why it's like it is, because it was in mothballs. The other good thing that happened was that it didn't have electricity. Can you imagine this house in 1950s, pitch black really? And because in both those wars, it couldn't be an R&R place. Some houses were rest and recuperation, or hospitals, or command centres.
Must mean there are lots of candles.
Yeah, lots of candles. Yeah.
Yes, that's all. These could be moved about, but you've got lots more to see, and I do love Tudor, so I know I'll go on a bit. They're called torchères, and they've got wheels, and they're moved around to the mirrors.
Okay.
So that if that was moved in front of that,
that
it
makes
would
sense.
reflect the light.
Yeah, reflect the light, yeah.
And you'll see these in other houses, but this is a nice house.
It is a nice house, and it's good that it makes
But
difference when you know the story behind your
You said that Richard, he had an affair, but he
marry.
he didn't marry, but he has a relative, isn't it? Some kind
I
of.
don't know if he had an affair in those days.
No. Yeah, I witnessed. It was my.
I think it is known that perhaps he wasn't gay and that he did have a girlfriend. And there's more to that than meets the eye. Apparently, in some records, he was having an affair with somebody who was
Royalty.
in espionage or something like that. But the point was, he probably would have come back.
No, yeah, of course.
And he would have left an heir.
No, but I was thinking about. I'm not thinking about like a state, but I was thinking about like more like a bloodline, you know, because so many people before you and
before him, you think, well, what happened? What happened with the last squire? This house originally, this family came from a county called Somerset.
Somerset,
yeah.
And there was a house there with Windham family, and so they traced. They've got connections going down from 1300, 1400. So the last squire has got a link. He is a Windham through his bloodline.
Yeah, so that's
But
a
it
shame,
has
isn't
changed,
it?
and now aren't we lucky that it
Yeah,
wasn't
but
locked up?
it's very lucky.
In some places, the houses were emptied.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to open up again, they would buy in antique furniture. But the National Trust are proud of this house because it's as it is.
As it was.
The things that you see are sort of 17th century.
Yeah.
And before this house, there was a Tudor house. And if you ever come back again, try and come back when you can go in the cellars and you can go up to the attics.
Oh,
But
nice.
you've got more to see.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold you up.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah.
introduction, really. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yes. Так, ну что, блин, я некоторые вещи это не заснял. Да, ну, видишь, ей самое интересное это как бы история. Но вот видишь, да, как бы так получается, что, ну, сколько? Приколи, это 1800. Ну, это где-то 800 лет. Кто это? А, ну. Что-то азиатское. Да. Что-то азиатское все-таки они, ну, переводят, знаешь, с этим фарфор. Ну, культура это, знаешь, как. Сидеть, да. Ну, да, ну. Что? Что? Как ты могла? Все чисто. Смотри, они идут? Приколи, мне кажется, они идут или нет? Да. Все часы еще идут. Их заводят. А в том доме не было часов, которые шли. Да, ну потому что он еще оригинальный. О, смотри. Библиотека. О, вот представь. Сейчас все в интернете. Да, вот здесь можно.
Можно было расслабляться.
Да, и вот. Давай, найди мне Ливонию. Блин, такая библиотека клевая. Спалатра. Смотри, Афины. Это, наверное, атлас там нарисован. Посмотри, какие. Это, наверное, там карта.
Да.
Смотри, какие громадные. А, это Библия? Смотри. Иди сюда. Смотри, это Библия. Что, да? На латинском.
South America goes like down. I can't see them, it's too dark. But I suspect they'll have put something there because they would have known something.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, they got as far as Australia. spotted a bit of an outline. They didn't get there that time. And it's South America they got down to. They're not that far. Oh, really?
I just think it's incredible how they actually did work it out because the land masses are so
I don't know how.
huge.
I can't picture how they got all these books first. I knew I went the wrong way.
Yeah.
I went down there first. I should have read these books and then gone. See, then you know.
Bless you.
Oh dear.
Oh, yeah, try stuck over here with the books, then you'll be alright.
Yes, I'll be alright. If my lesson will improve.
I don't know Latin at all, so you're doing better than me.
Oh,
My
people
father
travel,
taught
that's it.
Did you?
But he would never help me at school, so that's what he teaches.
That's like you. Teach little ones.
О, смотри, кровать. Вот стол, смотри, где можно...
Видел ванную?
Где, здесь? Тоже такая? Нет.
Смотри, какая ванна.
А, это ванна? Такой сапог.
Заходишь туда?
Это sleeper bath. Это где? From the late 19th century, it's constructed section of metal in the shape of slipper with 4 handles and black hole and head and shoulders since the modesty and warm up. Да уж, сапог. А здесь что, мыло поставить или что тут сливает? Fragile to touch. Да, что здесь? The same table in yellow bedroom. Смотри, там дверь. Туда можно идти, видишь, она
Да,
открыта.
можно было. Пойдем, пойдем.
Спешишь, он до 4:30, у нас еще полчаса. О, еще. How many bedrooms do they have?
Well, it's a big house with a big family.
No, yeah.
Very big.
So, is that was master bedroom or
This
this?
is, no, well, this was the bedroom that was used by the last squire's parents.
Yeah. And this one probably for children, and then the rest. And those doors leads to another bedroom or something like that. No?
That leads
Like a
out into the
corridor.
Ah, to corridor.
So they were closed down from there, and you could enter from that side.
Yes.
The servants would.
Ah, seven.
The doors were put into the servants.
Oh.
Otherwise, the servants had to walk through all the bedrooms. You see.
Ah, see, so that's for you to go from one bedroom to other, and that's for servants.
When this wing was built, this was how they were built. So you'd have to go through all the bedrooms if you happened to be sleeping in the there. But in the 1750s, then the corridor was built, and the one underneath that you've already walked along. So then the doors were put in, because that was originally the outside wall of the house.
Ah,
So
yeah.
the doors were then cut in order to provide access for the servants. So in the next room, you'll see that the door is open, so you can see how they
how
get
they-
in and out from the corridor. And they come into one bedroom at a time.
Oh, see. See, it's like live TV, you know, Love Island. You're watching from one bedroom to another before. I'm just passing by. I'm not looking at you, what you're doing. Interesting, yeah. Big family, isn't it?
Да, типа servants.
Да, смотри, видишь, вот он так, да, то есть,
Типа servants одного части.
то есть они туда приходят, например, если кровать, это надо, ну, такой закрыть, да,
Куча
такие.
клопов.
Чего сразу негативно? Смотри, какие часы клевые.
Какие часы?
Вот, смотри.
Где?
Вот.
Ага, я уже сфоткала.
Да, молодец. Комод. А это что-то? Библия, наверное. Вот еще одна. О, вот это. Hello. This one is quite old.
Those brushes.
Ah, beautiful. It's for brushing your hair. Sit in that chair and or maybe servant coming from that door. Hiding from that door. And... А вот умывальники, видишь?
Смотри, это пот. Это
Что?
поти.
Поти?
Видимо, да?
Maybe. Very nice. And this bedroom is for... Ah, look at...
We don't really know whose bedroom it was. The bed has been probably didn't always look like this.
No, yeah, of course.
It's been cut around a lot.
Ah.
So if we take the sheets and blankets off, you'd see there's all sort of cuts and joins everywhere.
Well, it means that it's been used, isn't it, then?
Yeah.
Suppose. Because if it was not used, then you wouldn't need it to refurbish, I suppose, so.
Yeah.
So this one is more like Japanese, Asian style. Chinese. Yeah, Chinese.
It's actually made in China and brought here.
So that is
It's 1752.
1752. So all the colors
The colours are still
remain.
bright.
Yeah.
Even nearly 300 years
Yeah,
later.
300 years later. Oh my days, 300 years. Oh, it's still around. Interesting. Yeah, right, 17. So that was the Opium War, isn't it? Opium trade
No, the Opium Wars were later.
Later. So it was before then.
Yeah, this is before the Opium Wars.
I see.
They were 1840s.
1840s, yeah.
So this was ordered through the East India Company.
Yeah. East
So
India.
You would have sent it off your order.
And they will make
it.
it.
A couple of years later it came back.
No, yeah, well, not.
Think of the enormous expense and trouble it would have been just to get it here.
Yeah, of course.
Just to get the order to China in the first place, because it was wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like nowadays phones progress, isn't it? And you can print out whatever you want.
Yeah, no, it's just sailing ships and.
Yeah, because of the if it's sink or whatever insurance or stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how long it took to sail from China to Norfolk, but probably quite a long time.
Really? But it did make it, so
Yeah,
it got here. Excellent. Okay. Nice. Look at this. TikTok moment.
So they're 130 litres.
Вот это servant room. Клево. О, ванна. Интересно, это ванна для гостей или для слуг? Больше как слуги. Ну ладно. Еще одна staircase. Тихо. Unless mobile visit me. Mom. Здесь был дверь, что ли? Погреб. О! Ты приколи, это китайская комната, из Китая привезли ее. No, she was alright.
Let's go, babe.
Подожди.
На кухню пойдем?
Ты пирожки приготовишь? Чайник, вот. Это фазаны, наверное. Ничего добавлять, ничего мешать. То есть это в оригинале китайский фарфор. The old kitchen. Вот какие вельможи тут. 1650 год. 1610. А это что такое? Ты посмотри, фронт-дор, это, наверное, эти...
Так жили богатые люди, да? У них были слуги.
Ну да. Ну посмотри, это кухня. Вот сюда это привозили еду, наверное, из этих окон. Можно было загрузить. И вот делали пирожки. Это у нас из меди. О, вот recreation. Крабы, всякое такое. Ничего, прикольно. Тиц. Ширинка. Все местное. Норвич. Дженс. Что там? Дженс. Норвич. Это, наверное... Может, какая-то кнопочка нажимаете. Вот фотографии. Вот теперь Kings of Queens of England. Офигеть. Ну вот и вот. Тысяч. Мартин Фокс. Еще один Норвич, Беннем. Часы. Что у нас тут? Слуги? У слуги своей партии был. Вот они здесь кушали. Ну что, приятненько тут. Гладили, стирали. Шовки. Приятненько, уютненько.
The late 17th century Sandwell staircase was removed, and this one, designed and built by James Paine, was installed in 1752. The paintings on the lower landing all came from the Cremer family home at Kingston Hall. The principal decorations upstairs are the 7 bronzed plaster busts. The portrait is of William Windham II, attributed to James Dagney. He is dressed as a hussar and holding an ice pick, indicating that he had climbed a glacier during his grand tour.
The library.
At the top of this magnificent staircase is the library. Built in a restrained Gothic style, the oak bookshelves contain over 5,000 books.
5000 книг,
My great
офигеть.
uncle, Robert Kеттon, would invite me to spend an afternoon in the library. He would leave me alone.
Then he would touch me.
I would examine shelf after shelf. Early atlases, books on science and politics, 18th century poetry and literature, pamphlets and plays. I understood little, but I shall never forget the excitement of those afternoons in the library.
The desk is believed to be one of the first to be designed for library use. The watercolours by Robert Kеттon's sisters show the library as it would have looked in the late 19th century. The room also contains 2 magnificent globes, one celestial and the other terrestrial, made in London in 1799 and 1814. right-hand side of the library is originally part of the Samuel staircase, and you can still see a fragment of its original ceiling. In the 1750s, following the changes made to this wing, this small room was used by William Windham II as his dressing room. It contains a fine rococo mirror, painted grey. There were no bathrooms, only head baths or slipper baths, like this 19th century one.
Robert Kеттon remained faithful to the hip bath all his days.
This room, the yellow bedroom, was redesigned in the 1970s by the Trust to show how the bedroom would have appeared in the 1920s when R.W. Kеттon-Kремer's parents occupied it. The room has several paintings, two brought back from William Windham's grand story. Portrait made by Felbrigg.
Так, у нас мастерская. Тут коней делали, ставили, делали, занимались.
The original panel. The furniture of the 19th century. The elegant white and gilt pier glasses date from 1752. The portrait by Humphrey Repton is of William Windham III. This room is known as the Red Bedroom because of the richness of the flock and gilt wallpaper. Last decorated in 1860, it has sadly lost most of its colour, and the once shocking pink stripes are now sedate beige. The ornate dado panelling from 1705, the fine gilt mid-18th century rococo pier glass, together with the overmantel mirror, would have made this bedroom the height of 18th century fashion. The bed seen here is not the original. The 18th century bed from this room was sold by Robert Ketton in 1918 in order to pay the repairs to the house and estate. Originally two dressing rooms, but remodelled by William Windham II, who in 1752 employed a specialist to hang this fashionable hand-painted Chinese wallpaper. Windham complained about the specialist's charges, which he thought a cursed deal. The small Chinese coronal lacquer cabinet and two nodding mandarins complete the Oriental theme. The early 20th century cloisonné enamel clock is, however, from Paris. This, the West Corridor, was built to give access to the bedrooms and contains many treasures. Among them a bronze plaster bust of the poet Alexander Pope, a late 17th century writing desk, the mahogany military chest possibly used by Admiral Windham, and a glass bowl on a brass pillar, which when filled with water refracted with candlelight. There are also some beautiful bronzes, including the equestrian combat of two bulls and the lioness leading their fight. Modern amenities, including this bathroom, were installed. Charming illustrations of nursery rhymes on the linoleum suggest that either this room might once have been a nursery, or the linoleum had been thriftily used from elsewhere.
Okay.
And so it stands.
Let's go. Cheers. Let's go to the toilet. Вот, конечно. Это седло были. Настоящего. Кожа. Конечно. Вон тут лошадки стоят. Ладно. Let's go. Ну вот. Как-то так. Ну, конечно, поинтереснее. Но только своим шармом. Ну, как-то так. Надеюсь, вам понравилось наше гуляние.